Hello friends, let's continue with our series. In this lecture, we are going to be learning about the third problem of arrays in Java, and we are going to be making a program which does the sum or addition of our numbers in the array. All right, let's begin. Uh, I was going to be doing it in a shorter method, but in order to let you understand, I'll just remove this and I'll keep it plain and simple for you guys. All right, that should do. Sum equal to sum plus numbers of I is the same as sum plus equal to numbers of I. You don't have to worry about it right now, but if you are able to practice, you can try that modification as well. It's just a shortcut and commonly used in Java as well. So, all right. All right, looks fine. Let's try to run it. And there we go. The sum of our array elements is printed. So let's understand how this works. So first we have a public class which is array sum. Then we have public static void main, which is the boilerplate code of Java, the default code. Then we have int numbers, which is an array of numbers that we have defined with 4 values. Then we have initialized sum and added the value 0 towards it. So the sum right now, the current sum is 0, right? Since we have not calculated anything, we cannot have a sum before we calculate. So before the calculation, our sum is 0, all right? Then we add the print statement or the print command line, which is system.out.println. Print the sum of numbers below, right? Then we will initialize the for loop where we declare an integer I whose value is 0 in the starting. It will go on till I is less than numbers.length, and I will increase each time the loop has run. Inside it, we will have our sum variable. The sum variable will update each time the loop has occurred, and it will be updated by sum, which is the previous sum plus the value, which is the new value, the sum that is trying to be done, right? The sum between the two values that is trying to be done here is the values of numbers of I. So once that is done, it goes back into the loop. The value of I is increased. It checks the condition and it goes on to the loop again. The value of I is increased and so on. And the sum starts from 0, right? Sum starts from 0. While starting from 0, it initializes the value of whatever is sum plus numbers of I. So first number is 10, numbers of I is 10. When the value of I is 0, the sum becomes 0 plus 10. So what is 0 plus 10? 0 plus 10 is 10. So sum becomes 10. And once the sum becomes 10, the loop runs again. Once the loop runs again, we have the value of I as 1, which means sum plus numbers of 1. So what is numbers of 1? Numbers of 1 is 20. Since numbers of 1 is 20, 10 plus 20 will be the new value of sum. So what is 10 plus 20? 10 plus 20 is 30. And in the similar case, we add all of our values of our array. And finally, pay very close attention here. Once you come out of the for loop and you want the entire for loop to be working, you want the entire for loop to commit first, execute, and only then move forward, then you have to pay very close attention here. Inside these curly brackets, the for loop condition comes. So you never place your print statement or whatever you are trying to do inside a for loop if you want the for loop to completely finish. So always make sure this line or an operation line that you want to be performed after a for loop comes outside the curly brackets. And once that is done, once you move out to the curly brackets, you can do whatever you are doing. Your for loop has now exited, but make sure you are not inside the curly brackets if you want the for loop to be completing fully. Now our for loop has successfully completed. We are sure of that because we are not inside the curly brackets. We will add the print command or the print statement, which is sum of array elements is plus sum, right? You have already seen it run, but let's run it once again. So it prints the sum of numbers below, which is the print line, and then it adds sum of the elements one by one. It is not printing yet. It is not printing yet. It is adding one by one, adding one by one, adding one by one, adding one by one. Then it gets a final value, which is sum. This final value is now out of the loop. The value is in the memory, but the program, the command is outside the for loop. Now it is here. So now it tries to find the value of the sum. The value of the sum was stored in the memory and the value of the sum is simply printed here. That's exactly how it works. I hope you were able to understand and thank you for watching.